Welcome to the Hooch, where the only place more messed up than your hosts is the barracks on a Friday night or the VA. So get ready to stand by for your weekly dose of toilet humor and shenanigans from your fellow veterans, Coy Mack and Michael Grizzled Grunt Harris.
Hey, welcome back to the Hooch, everybody. Got Coy Mack here and Michael Harris, as always. He's big and bright and happy, who is now becoming a rising TikTok star. What are you at, likes-wise or followers at this point? It's like 17,000 or something like that?
Yeah, 17,000. I just hit 17,000 this morning. You know, I was at 1,600 a couple days ago, but, you know, I'm not,
No
you know,
big
it is what
deal.
it is. No big deal, you know? Yeah, I'm at 17 right now.
I think it's interesting because there's a lot of people that are upset, because we were just talking about this before we started, that are upset about TikTok, even to the point that Australia has already banned it, or is thinking about banning it, and India already has banned it entirely, because they're worried that the Chinese Communist Party is taking over personal information data from people, which they've been caught doing that before. It's not a big surprise, but everybody at this point has somebody's data. You know, Facebook, Instagram, all these people have your data, so, you know, fuck them.
Yeah, you know, your bank, your credit card, you know, anything you apply for, your mortgage company, your card, your car payment company, wherever you pay your car through, they all have your information. Come on, dude. You don't think they leak out information when you get a random call or a random letter in the mail talking about you qualify for this new credit card?
Right.
Come on, they're selling your shit too. So get over it.
Absolutely.
I'm going to TikTok it up.
But I mean, that's just the way that the social media is these days. Everything is selling your personal information. And the biggest one recently that had happened was Will Smith and Jada Pinkett Smith's Red Table discussion with their entanglement. So this is coming from the Guardian, which is saying that Will Smith and Jada Pinkett Smith's entanglement proves that social media is new reality TV, and I think that's really on point for the discussion, because this was taking something that usually happens in somebody's house, right, and then just shoved it out for everybody to see. Right. And if you haven't seen the video, you need to go look it up. It is absolutely horrific when she starts explaining this stuff to him, and you could just see his face get broken by what she's saying. And it really, really resonated with us because, you know, Will Smith is the captain or the other guy that just got home from the deployment and found out his wife was banging some other Jody while you were gone.
Oh, man, that's great.
I was not even the best one. The next one is even better, which is the Entanglement card from Yu-Gi-Oh! If you don't know what that is, you should look it up. It's hilarious. So the Entanglement card is the card used when your opponent tries to activate the relationship card, and this card negates that with Entanglement. So basically, anything that happens now, you can just say it was an entanglement. Yeah, sorry, I was late today. I got an entanglement with my phone, and the alarm didn't go off. It was entangled.
Like, hey,
I couldn't do anything.
You know, when those bill collectors call you and they're like, you know, sir, we're wondering where our payment is. You'd be like, sorry, me and my bank account had an entanglement. You mean you're broke? Yes, broke. Yeah, I'm broke.
I mean, could you imagine using that excuse on somebody in a relationship? It's like, yeah, we had an entanglement. We didn't have a relationship. We had an entanglement. And it's like, dude, no, you were banging that dude and having, like, okay, this is a question I've always asked people, right? In your opinion, in a relationship, is it worse to have a one-night stand or to have another relationship outside of the relationship you're currently in? And to me, I think having another relationship is worse than just getting banged one night, right? So that's
I can agree.
I think that's a big thing. It's like you can slip up and fall on some dick, but you can't slip up and accidentally have a relationship with somebody. Okay, it doesn't work like that.
little story. I've been in a couple entanglements.
You've been in a couple entanglements. Yeah, I mean, most dudes, I think, in this lifetime, especially in 2020, have been into an entanglement at one point or another. They shouldn't have been dipping their dick in what they were, but they were doing it, and that's just the way that it is. However, the thing I have an issue with Miss Smith's issue here was the fact that they went on to a YouTube series, which is what it is, and talked about the relationship out loud. And this is the first time he was hearing it. And just seeing Will Smith's face break under that was just heart-wrenching for me. It's just like, this dude is wealthy. He's well off. He loves his kids. He takes care of them really well. Right. And it just shows that men as a whole, you could give somebody the world and still not be enough for them. Right. You could be everything. So, like, Michael, what do you think about this?
Honestly, I have, my opinions on the Smiths. It's funny how their daughter Willow was allowed to pose nude with that model. Remember that?
I vaguely remember that. It was a controversy, but I don't remember.
Yeah, there's a big controversy on them allowing her to do that. So when did their morality meter hit 10? When did Will Smith's morality meter all of a sudden spike? So, they've known to swing around, that's within, social media and everything. They kind of get around like that. And, they got the money to do it. And a lot of celebrities do. So be it. I don't judge people for doing that. Mm-hmm. But don't get upset if that's the life you live. And all of a sudden, your wife decides to have an entanglement without your permission. And don't get mad, dude. He's still with her though, because he probably had a couple of entanglements too.
Like that's the thing that pisses me off the most about this, is that she's not sorry for what she did, not in the least bit. Right. And by the way she acted in the video, which was like, Will Smith didn't give August any permission. She gave permission for herself. Nobody else gave permission for that. And then second, she waited until years after the fact to tell him she had an entanglement with this dude, instead of like telling him right after they got back together, which is probably the appropriate time of like being in a relationship with somebody, saying we're separated. Okay, fine. I can understand that from that point. You were separated. You did you guys' own thing. Cool. Copacetic. But when you got back into that relationship with each other, you should have been open and honest with him and told him you had a relationship with another person. That's lying. That's hiding. And that is a cheapening of your guys' relationship. Even to the point that he pointed at the end of it saying, bad marriage for life. And they're like, fist bumped at her. And I was like, dude, that was the most bitchy thing I've ever seen in my life. You should not have done that. It was sad.
Here's some of the things that like I said, we put things into perspective.
Yeah.
We know they're both actors, well-renowned actors. They can act. So how do we know that this wasn't an act for TV or for ratings?
That's
true.
What I mean? If it's a reality TV show, then fine. I mean, you got us all played. You did a great and amazing job.
They did. And then what man in his right mind, if you was sitting there in front of your wife, you're married, not me, but you guys are on this show and she talks about she had an entanglement. In your brain, an entanglement to us is like, what? Somebody tie you up? What the fuck happened? You was tied up somewhere?
Right? Were you in a BDSM lounge and like someone came up to you in a BDSM?
Yeah. What some dude tied you up and what are you talking about entanglement? I was in a relationship. Do you really think, Coy Mac, you would sit there and fist bump your wife?
Nah, man. That's why I said it's like that was the bitchiest thing I've ever seen in my life.
Like I said, I was like, put things into perspective when you watch these actors. I mean, Jada Pinkett Smith has that Jezebel face. She's a fucking Jezebel. But
she's
and Will
the same
Smith
person that ruins your life.
And Will Smith ain't no freaking better. So when you look at this shit, put it into context and say, are they acting? Because you don't know. Where are their careers at right now? What was the last movie Jada was in? What was the last movie Will was in? Maybe call some controversy.
I know she was on Gotham, but I'm trying to Will Smith had Gemini, which was released recently. Gemini, man, that movie
it flopped though. But you got to think about
it was released around the COVID beginning, but most movies flopped at this point.
Well, if you look at Gemini, he's actually telling truth about cloning, but that's neither here or there. We'll talk about that on a different day. But what I'm saying is, if you put things in perspective about their careers, they're going to be like, I guarantee those producers are like, hey, look at here, Will and Jada. People know you guys kind of get down and freaky like that. So
why didn't they just release a sex tape like normal celebrities?
Well, because I think Jada may not.
What was it, the red light district with Paris Hilton back in the day?
Yeah, I don't think Jada would go that far to release a sex tape. You know what I mean? I think she has a little more respect for herself, a little bit.
They let her daughter pose nude for a freaking magazine thing. So come on, man.
Yeah, but I don't think Will. I don't think Will will allow that either. I'm calling them Will and Jada like I know them. Will Smith and Jada Pickett. But
right.
What I see is, I think this is just some freaking social media fucking hype to kind of get people's minds off of COVID, kind of get people, because everything is hyped about this right now. Everything you see on social media, it's entanglement. Oh, you mean a relationship?
Everything's an entanglement.
And he laughed it off. Man, I would have. Oof.
I couldn't do that, man. I honestly couldn't. I think any guy listening to this right now would, if their significant other, whether you're gay, straight, it doesn't matter, whoever you're with, said that they were in an entanglement with another person, you would be upset. All right? You wouldn't be able to sit there and continue an interview. And I get that.
Sure. I would have walked off that day. I would have walked off like, what?
Should have done what Mike Tyson did with that unfair interview, and he's like, fuck y'all, throws this shit down and walks out.
Yep. That's what Will Smith he would have changed the game if he would have walked out on her.
But, I honestly think if they stay together for another year or so, that's probably going to be an amazing thing.
They have too much money involved in them, man. They have too much. There's no way.
She admitted to infidelity. He probably won't have to pay a fucking dime.
So did he, though.
Well, it also depends on if she makes more than him, and then he could file for alimony or something like that. I hate fucking alimony anyway. It's the worst kind of like anti-feminist thing you can think of is alimony. It's like, I need a man to take care of me, so I got to get that money.
The rest of my life.
Right.
And even though he didn't ask me to work, I decided not to work because he had so much money, and I took care of the house. I cleaned, even though he helped clean, and even though he helped take care of the kids, and even though he helped cook when he was at work, I did it for those 8 hours he was gone. So I deserve.
I have to maintain my lifestyle that I was used to having. I can't just go from no working to working. How dare you?
Hey, man, motherfucker. Oh, you want my money? I'm gonna give it all away right now. Boom, gone.
How dare you? God. That's why prenups are good. Regardless if you're male or female, you should always get a prenup if you have a significant amount of money. If you have like over 100,000 or more in the bank, you should probably have a prenup. That's all I'm saying.
Yep. As long as the money that 100,000 was there before you got married, you're still good. That's why I don't believe in joint accounts. You know what I mean? I will never get a joint account with anybody. My last marriage, I didn't have a joint account. I'll never get married again. But if I ever get into a serious relationship, which don't do it. That's a possibility one day. But it's gonna have to be common law. And look, your shit is your shit. My shit is my shit. We'll meet halfway. I think that's kind of like the thing that's going in relationships in the U.S. is that people are starting to marry less because they don't see the benefit. Especially for men, there's no benefit to marry anybody anymore. If you really think about it, there's not. It's like, well, you get kids out of it. It's like, yeah, there's baby mamas all over the fucking place. So no, it doesn't really benefit me at all. I'm still gonna pay for it either way, man, whether it's child support or not. But I think traditional marriage is still better if you find the right relationship. And this is something me and my wife talked about the other night, is that there's this little spectrum, I like to call it, right? Or even a T. Like before you start the relationship, this is you guys right here. And when you go up, there is passion. And it can either go one or two ways. It can go to one side, which is romance, and the other side, which is obsession. Passion and obsession are both dangerous things. And you got to be able to tell the difference between the two of them. If you are passionate about somebody, you have not yet gotten to the point of romance where you guys are stable. But if you go to the other side, which is obsession, that's when you get those crazy bitches that come at you with knives and shit and burn your stuff in the yard. That is dangerous. Don't get in that relationship. Stay out of it. You ain't lying.
I mean,
and you should be able to, and there's sensors, there's things out there that tell you if this chick is crazy as hell. You should be able to tell from the minute you start talking to her to your first date to the first time you guys freaking bump uglies. And if you bump uglies and you do and she's fucking psycho, insane, crazy, texting you 10 times a day, wondering where you're at, walk the fuck away.
Right, or going through your Facebook page or wanting those joint accounts. That's obsession. That's not a romantic relationship. That is ownership. Obsession is ownership, and that's something you should not get yourself involved in. And this, especially for young Joes and Marines out there and devil dogs, listen, do not get yourself into an entanglement with crazy bitches. Don't do it.
That's true. So, I tell chicks, there's a lot of chicks out there, especially, running around on social media these days. But
TikTok is a new Tinder, if I remember right.
Yeah. But, but I get asked, like, why are you single? Or why is this? I was like, well, for one, you got to be able to keep up with me socially. Yeah. So I am a social media guy. This. Everybody knows this. We're on social media. Yeah, I'm a personality. So I'm all over the place. And there's chicks that write me. There's chicks that hit me. There's chicks that do this. There's chicks that do that. Do I respond to them all? No. Do I laugh and give them a thumbs up? Yes. Some of them. But if you can't handle that shit, I'm not the guy for you, because that's not going to change, because I'm not going to change my lifestyle. Then you decide to up and leave, and then I have to start over again. Where I'm at right now is where I'm staying. Either you're going to jump on this train or I'm going to drive away. That's the way it is. Choo choo, motherfucker.
Run up, get done up kind of situation, man. Yep. It's like either you're ride or die, bitch. That's how it goes.
Yeah. But either you ride or die, you jump on this train. So.
And it's true. Like we've both been in bad relationships. I think everybody's been in bad relationships. But being able to recognize the spectrum is like where you want to be as like in a romance relationship where you guys are stable, happy with each other. You don't have any trust issues. You're not looking through each other's phones. If you're looking through somebody's phone to figure out if they're cheating on you, you shouldn't be in that relationship. Period.
Exactly.
Like if you have no level of trust or honesty with the other person that you're with, then why are you even doing it? What's the point? There's a lot of people that get comfortable in relationships and they never leave them.
That's a big no-no to me. Don't touch my fucking phone. Well, why? You don't want me to go through your messages? No, because I have bank information and other personal information on there too. Especially if we're dating. Well, who the fuck do you think you are picking up my damn phone, asking to go through my shit? First off, if you don't pay this damn bill, you ain't going through my damn phone. Second, all my information's in there. I have a lot of information in my phone.
There's a lot of people that are like, they'll look through your phone, but as soon as you say, okay, my turn, they're like, no, why would I give you my phone?
Yeah.
It's like, what?
And I would never ask to look through no one's phone. Anybody I've dated or been with, I've never asked to look through their phone ever.
Yeah.
That's your business.
That is a disrespectful move to do, because it shows that you lack a fundamental level of trust. And that's something that you personally have a problem with right now. And that's something that you have to address and deal with, not the other person, not the other person you're with.
I mean, and I do have trust issues, and we're talking about entanglement still. So get where we're going, people. But I do have trust issues per se.
Yeah.
But I don't have trust issues for, to the point to where I'm worried about what this chick is doing, because I'm an adult, man. I'm grown. I'm too grown for that. Either if I look at her phone every day, if I'm checking on it every day, regardless, I can't watch her 24 hours a day.
Yeah.
Or him, depending on which way. No, I'm kidding.
Whichever way you love, man, that's on you.
Whichever way, if it's Thursday, it's going to be him. But, or him, whatever way.
Man, you got Thursdays, man. Those were the days.
But what I'm saying is that you can't watch somebody 24 hours a day. No. And it's like being a kid. If you're constantly on your kid and you're constantly on them and you're constantly, controlling them, or you're constantly trying to figure out what they're doing, they're eventually going to get curious and find a way to get around you.
Yep.
And it's going to happen. So just let people be people.
They're going to do drugs regardless of what you tell them not to do. It's the same thing.
And just let people be free, man. And if it happens, it happens. And if, just always prepare yourself for the worst, man. Like, always prepare yourself for the worst when it comes to relationships. Always be prepared for that moment. Never expect that this is a perfect life and this person you met is perfect and, this person's never going to do that. No, that's not true. So with this, with Will and Jada, they brought it on themselves, man. This whole entanglement shit, they should have kept their lives pure. And this is what happens.
I think I would have said, like, if they were going to separate, they should have just separated completely. If you're not happy in your relationship, don't put that on somebody else. If you want to get into a relationship with another person, then don't be continuously being in the relationship you currently are in. It's that simple. I don't know why this has to be explained to people, but it's true. If you're not happy, get out. Don't stay there.
Here's a little relationship advice. You're talking to a married guy and a guy who's been married.
I've been married twice. You've been married twice too?
Yeah. So opposites.
But that's like normal in the military.
And here's the thing, and you mainly see it with females. So this is for our female viewers.
For you girls.
Opposites do attract. Don't think because this guy doesn't meet certain criteria, like he don't ride horses or he doesn't do that or this, that, or the other, that he ain't for you. I'm telling you, opposites do attract. And same for males. She got to be this, that, or the other. There may be somebody out there that is one totally opposite from you.
Yep.
Maybe that shit's going to work. And those are usually the strongest relationships. Two people, if you get two people that are too much alike, man, it's like two batteries, two negatives and stuff. You know, you're both trying to compete because you're so much alike and you guys have nothing else to offer to each other. When you meet somebody that's kind of opposite from you, you're both sharing different experiences from the things you enjoy. You know what I mean? Whether it's a country boy that likes to ride horses and hunt, meeting a city girl from Chicago, black girl who's never done it in her life, but she knows how to, you know, cook dope ass food. She knows how to, you know, do whatever, you know, make music or whatever, make music.
That's a totally different conversation about women and cooking.
I'm just saying in general. So we're just saying,
these days.
Yeah, we're just saying in general. So, you know, with them two, I think Will and Jada were just too much alike in their lifestyles. And, you know, there were two people, they were high up there on the money and they were probably are living that lifestyle before they got together and they came together and they were still living that lifestyle. And here we are. Will's getting old, man. He's like 50-something years old.
Yeah, so. He's not the Fresh Prince anymore, man. Like everybody's getting older. You gotta realize that stuff. I think when you get to a certain point in your life, you need that stability of a proper relationship. You can't be going out fucking partying every night and banging your brains out, you know, forever.
I don't know, dude. For me, I'm a homebody anyway. So
yeah.
But it seems like every girl that I'm meeting now is like 10 to 14 years younger than me. Like most girls my age, they don't. I mean, yeah, some of them like reach out and talk to me, but it's not really a thing. I think because my personality, I think I have a little younger. I have a younger personality. I kind of carry myself as if I'm younger. So,
right. Like 10 years younger is what you act like and are like. I have to guess.
Yeah, but my responsibility level is not 10 years younger. My responsibility level is is my age. Yeah, I'm very responsible, but the way I carry myself, it's just so a lot of these younger girls, then they figure out my age. I'm just like, they're like, how old are you? I'm like 44. They're like, ooh, wink, wink.
Sugar daddy status over here.
I ain't nobody's sugar daddy. You'll be my sugar mama before I'm your sugar daddy.
Right? It's like I ain't giving you a dime. Fuck you.
Yeah, shit,
I ain't doing shit.
You're gonna give me something before I give you something.
Right. Oh man,
no, I'm kidding. I'm being facetious. Remember, I'm a personality in America.
This is like the first time we've really talked about relationships on the show, and I just thought it was a really good kind of starting point for today's episode. And I think we'll stop here for now, and we'll jump on to the next thing, which is pretty much going to be all political from here on out. So yeah, we're gonna dive into that with the Goya feuds thing. The stormtroopers in Portland, because that thing is hilarious to me, and a couple other things. Anyway, we'll be back in a second, guys. See you on the other side. Be sure to check out the Facebook page at the Hooch Podcast to follow along with new releases every week, as well as check out our Teespring store where we have awesome apparel, as well as the Hooch Podcast on Anchor FM. You can check it out here, or you can go on Spotify and iTunes, as well as Google Play. Anyway, we'll be back in a second. All right, and we're back on the other side, guys. For this portion, we want to talk about Goya Foods and it becoming a political statement to buy fucking beans. Of all things, buying beans is now a point of racism, I guess. It just pains me. I'm just tired of all the bullshit that's going on with relations to race, and everything's fucking racist. Everything is racist. Like, there's no... How do you put that? There's no consistency to what is racist and what's not racist now. I don't understand how beans are racist, but they are. Even to the point that we have two white ladies saying, you should buy these cans of beans versus this cans of beans. If you want beans without the side of racism, try other brands. It's like, could you have a bigger point of being dumb? Like both of them. Fuck both of them. I don't care. Stupid. Michael's yelling at his dog.
Because she's over there barking right now.
Your little Mexican Chihuahua is being
my little Mexican Chihuahua was very offended by this, Goya.
Right? I mean, dude, like, what do you think of this? Like, what did you think when you saw the whole Goya thing it come up? As like, just because he said, I think that Donald Trump is good for the United States, and they're like, oh God, you must be a racist because you support Donald Trump.
Dude, here's where it's getting to. It's getting to the point to where the word racism is just going to be nothing anymore. It doesn't matter if didn't the guy from BET, the CEO from BET, support Donald Trump, or what was it? There was a black guy, I think it was BET. But you don't hear about anyone trying to cancel BET. I don't know. We have to look it up real quick. I may be wrong, but I know.
No, there's even the whole thing with what happened with Nick Cannon recently on his fucking podcast, and what he did is like basically calling white people and Jews fucking animals. Like he called them animals, subhuman.
Yep, he called.
Like that is the most racist way you can possibly get in the world, and not like how are you not fired? You were fired, but you still have a job everywhere else. It just happens to be at MTV or whatever.
You want to hear this?
Yeah.
Guess who's the new host? Guess who's the new host of Wild 'N Out?
I don't know who. What?
What's his name? Ryan. What's his name? Ryan Seacrest. That's what I heard. I heard Ryan Seacrest is the new host.
Now Wild 'N Out. Wow.
I don't know, dude. I heard Ryan Seacrest is the new host. Maybe I'm lying.
If you could have replaced him with the whitest white person possible, I guess Ryan Seacrest would be the person to go to.
So to not get too far away from our Goya topic. Yeah. So the thing with Nick Cannon, man, anyone who freaking regurgitates anything, Louis Farrakhan says should never be taken serious, and they're anti-Semite. Because anyone who follows the teachings of Louis Farrakhan is an anti-Semite. You know what I mean? So then he had to come back and apologize to his Jewish, people. And then when he apologized, the black community turned on him.
What is it? The black Israelites? That's what he follows along with?
Well, no. So Nick Cannon, he apologized for his podcast.
Yeah.
So he put out a statement in his Twitter how, hey, I'd like to apologize to the Jewish community. My statements they were coming from blah, 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 blah place. A
position of hate is what you should have said.
Position of hate. So what happened when he did that, the black community turned on him real quick. Not the black community, the black supremacists did. We don't consider them part of our community. So you have the black supremacists, then you have the actual black people, the black Americans like myself and other black people I know. Then you have the black supremacists who are just right up there with the white supremacists and whatever supremacy group. So they turned on him real quick, man. They were like, he's Uncle Tom, Coon, sellout, all this other stuff because he apologized for his hateful rhetoric as a public figure. He apologized.
And that's what he should have done. Like that's what he should have done from the beginning. He shouldn't even said it from the beginning. I mean, dude, if you literally felt that way, if you let the mask slip from that and went straight to like Nazi racism, because that's exactly what he fucking said. He's like, Jews are fucking subhuman. Dude, you are this close to Hitler. Like there's not much of a difference. That's just the way you went.
Whatever he's saying, I don't know what happened to him with his biracial babies, but he's done. It doesn't matter how much he apologizes. He's done.
It won't. And that's the point. Is like we should be calling out racism wherever it lurks, and that when you hate somebody so much that you go into a tirade like that, like Nick Cannon did, that's racism. What Goya Foods is doing is saying, "I support the president of the United States." That's not racism. How is that racism?
And the thing is that if they're supporting the president of the United States, they're also supporting the people that support the president, which come in many different colors and flavors.
Yeah.
Yes. So they're pretty much saying, I support the people that support the president. So, here's I want to help them out. So it's just the cancel culture, man. It doesn't matter, man. They won't be happy until we're running around living in fucking huts and shit with spears and fucking
whatever. The communist utopia comes and takes over and it's all guaranteed jobs of everything that we always wanted, except for all the ship jobs. They're just gonna have to force people to do that from gunpoint. But whatever, we can just send them in the mines to work. It's fine.
Yeah, the communist utopia will never happen.
Because there's no way you can make it work to begin with. Like I don't understand. We've tried this for over a century and people are still yet. yet to get communism or socialism to
In
work
order
properly.
for it to happen, that means every state in the fucking union has to buy into the system, which every state is not going to buy into it. So what's going to end up happening, the states that buy into it, the people, the Americans that live in those states are going to do what?
Yep.
They're going to leave, and they're going to go to the state that doesn't buy into that system. And then that state that bought into that system is going to lose more revenue. Businesses will leave.
Well, that's already what's happening in New York right now, is that people are leaving in droves because of not only COVID, but the policies that they've enacted. I'm surprised people still live in fucking Portland right now with everything that's happening, and we'll get to that in a few. But the biggest thing I wanted to bring up with Goya is that Goya is not racist because he supports the president. Nick Cannon is racist because he went on to a racial tirade, basically thinking that these people were less than. And that's what Terry Crews has warned, is that when you don't want to be Black Lives Matter, but Black Lives Better, in his words, right, is that you don't want to get into a black supremacist ideology. And that's where where they're slipping into, and where we're slipping into as the United States. And the point that proves that the most is the Smithsonian, the National Museum of African American History and Culture, having an entire page dedicated to whiteness, right? Whiteness. This whole thing is about white people and the things that they are attributed to. And the biggest thing is this little infographic, which I find hilarious, by the way, is the aspects and assumptions of whiteness and white culture in the United States. And if you haven't seen it, it is the most ridiculous amount of bullshit I've ever seen in my entire life. I can't even imagine. Yeah.
So if you go to rugged individualism, right? Yeah. So one of the first one was rugged individualism. Do you know that the people in Africa that live out in the sticks are just like the white country boys that go out and hunt their own food? Right. I mean, rugged individualism, that's what we have there. So what else? What's the next one? Let me break some of this shit.
I'll go through the highlighted things.
Let's do it. Let's do it. I'm ready.
The big things are rugged individualism, family structure, emphasis on the scientific method, history, Protestant worth ethic, religion, status, power, and authority, future orientation, aesthetics, holidays. Fucking holidays. Dude, justice, competition, and communication. Okay.
Oh, what the fuck? All right, let's break it. Let's start from number one. We'll break this down. Let's dissect this shit a little bit.
Well, before we do that, I'm gonna read the top portion for everybody to understand listening on the show. Is the white dominant culture, or whiteness, is referred to in many ways. White people and their traditions, attitudes, and ways of life have been normalized over time and are now considered standard practices in the United States. And since white people still hold most institutional power in America, we have all internalized aspect of white culture, including people of color. Dude, okay, I'm sorry. Schedules are not whiteness. That is just something that you do as a industrial civilization.
All right. Okay. All right. Let's start from the top. Because my brain's about to fucking explode. Let's start from the top and break it down. Let's break it down.
Okay, so rugged individualism. An individual is a primary unit, self-reliance, independence, and autonomy, highly valued and rewarded. Individuals assumed to be in control of their environment. You get what you deserve. Rugged individualism is a frame of mind. It's not entirely inherently, white, I would say, because have you ever been to any Asian country? Ever.
Have you been to
and a lot of these
country?
Yeah, exactly.
Same thing I said about Africa, and that's the same thing that they stand by. They're individuals, primary units, self-reliance. They don't rely on anybody to do anything for them. So, that first statement it's not right. It's not true. That is a individual. Notice they said individual. That's an individual's choice.
I may say China's not in so much into individualism, right? But they have high autonomy. We'll go with that one. So it's not inherently a white thing.
All right. So first off, before we continue, I heard that a white person wrote this though.
I think so, but it also comes off of the what was it, the White Fragility author? I mean, I got to remember to look up who the author was for White Fragility.
So, of course, he's using his individualism and his status to
No, I think it was a black woman, if I remember right. I don't remember.
I think it's a white person.
Robin
I'm pretty
DiAngelo.
sure it's a white.
Yeah, it was a white person. I think it was.
Yeah.
Robin DiAngelo.
Yep. So yeah, good job, Robert. You're a fucking idiot.
No, not Robert. Robin.
Whatever.
It was a woman. It's a woman.
Robert, Robin. They don't care what we call them.
Here, let me bring it up to the show. So Robin DiAngelo, the author of White Fragility, is a PhD. She's a doctor, an American academic literature author, and fields of study on whiteness studies.
Wait, what's her degree in?
Whiteness studies? I don't know.
What a fucking idiot.
It doesn't say it's like about me. Okay, I guess you can go on.
Oh my God. No one wants to hear about her. Screw her.
Okay. Well, I just say a PhD in multicultural education.
Oh my God. Oh my God. That's such a great degree. Education. Oh, that's such a good degree.
That's such a degree. I
wish
I had that degree.
Jesus Christ.
I mean, I thought my rhetoric degree was useless, but that's pretty fucking useless.
So what's the next one? The family structure.
The family structure, the nuclear family, having a father, mother, 2.3 children. It was at 2.5. It's like one in the oven. That's what it usually has indicated, if I remember right, is the ideal social unit. Husband is the breadwinner and head of the household. Wife is a homemaker and supporting the husband. Children should have their own rooms, be independent. Okay.
Boom. So
let me okay, yeah, I'll let you have this one.
Down.
Go for it.
So that's the way I grew up with my grandparents.
Yeah.
So all the kids that grew up in our house,
family values, right? Yeah.
Not all of them. One of them is a knucklehead, but the other 4 or 5, we all turned out good. We're all successful and everything. Now, if you go back to Africa again, what is one thing in African culture?
Family.
Who's the breadwinner? Family, right? Who's the breadwinner?
Family and males usually. It's in that aspect, yeah.
Yeah, so there's no white influence in Africa deep down in the Congo and shit where the family.
Right.
No, I'm serious.
It's true.
Where the men of the tribe or the men of the group go out and supply food, and they're the breadwinners. They're the ones out there doing all the hunting. The women are back there taking care of the kids and everything. So that's
we think traditionally that way, but there's also like the industrial Africans in Africa that live normal lives that are doing the same thing. It's still in the same way. It's going for everywhere.
Yep. But. So that right there is another bullshit statement.
Oh yeah,
absolutely. What do you have to say about it?
I was going to bring it up like this is the traditional structure that most families before feminism came into the picture. It was, and that's how like your grandparents, for instance, were probably that generation that was in the 50s, 60s, and so on that were fighting. Right, they were fighting in the civil rights, but they also were inherently family. Like they that was husband, wife, children. We take care of our own. That's what it was about. And that is not a white thing. That is a human thing to have that condition.
This has been going on for centuries.
Right?
For her, all right, let's continue before I freaking blow a head gasket.
It's so amazing. So the emphasis on scientific method, because apparently the scientific method is racist. I don't know how you come up with that, but it is.
It's funny because liberals are always pushing science.
Objective and rational linear thinking, causes and effects of relationships, quantitative emphasis. I'm sorry, that's just called fucking science. Like, what? What?
How can you take this person serious and like she?
Yeah, no, it's real. It's real. It's real. This whole thing is fucking real. This is coming from the Smithsonian's website. That's like the worst thing about this. This is how you know the alt-leftists have ingrained themselves so deeply into culture that this is showing up on a nationally recognized museum.
And she probably posted this shit and no one vetted it. I guarantee they just her credentials.
No, this is all stuff that's been covered in White Fragility.
But for them to post this on the Smithsonian site,
yeah,
and no one vetted, like whoa, you can't, no. This
is literally what people believe. That's why they don't see anything wrong with this. This whole thing, this whole list, as racist as it is, nobody sees anything wrong with it.
Okay, what's the next one? Did you see something you experienced?
Oh yeah, so we'll go for history based on Northern European immigrants' experience in the United States, heavy focus on the British Empire, primacy of Western Greek, Roman, and Judeo-Christian. That's all of fucking Europe that was influenced by the Greeks and the Romans. I'm sorry, that's how our society was brought up. I'm sorry, Western values. That's what it is.
Okay, here I go with the
Go
way
for
I
it.
think. Let's back it up a little bit. So when you get a lot of pro-blacks out there, what do they always say? Who do they say Jesus was?
He
What color was he?
Middle Eastern.
Well, you get them
They'll say
say
he's black. Yeah.
they'll say
Jesus
yeah.
is black.
So come on, work with me here. So were most Jews black back then? What they like? Well, what we hear.
Well, I mean, yeah, they were tanned. They weren't. I wouldn't say they were
I'm just
necessarily black. But they were dark.
work with me here.
I'm working with you.
So okay, so if these brown people that are black or brown, right?
Yeah.
Who created Christianity?
Jews.
Which were considered. Oh my goodness gracious! There wasn't a damn Europeans that created that shit.
I know, right? Not a single one. Not a single fucking one.
Jesus Christ!
Jesus Christ is brown.
If people would just use their critical thinking skills to.
I know, right? And so what Michael's referring to is the whole thing of like the Christian religion. Christianity is the norm. Anything other than Judeo-Christian tradition is foreign. No tolerance or deviation from a single God concept. That is the black community as well. I mean, that's why we have black churches and gospel singles. That's why like reverends of certain groups are part of the civil rights movement. I don't know, Dr. Martin Luther King, for instance.
Martin Luther King?
Whatever. So
I don't know who that guy is.
That's whiteness is to believe in religion because, there's
so they're pretty much saying Martin Luther King.
That believe in one God and whatever.
They're pretty much saying Martin Luther King, whatever he said, he was just whitewashed, based off this, Dr. Martin Luther King,
all those racist epithets that they'll throw at you for being a black conservative is what they would throw at Martin. If Martin Luther King was alive today, that's exactly how they'd be treating him, right? He'd be a Republican and they would just be tearing him down for thinking anything other than right think.
Well, he wasn't. So.
Okay, so moving on. From the work ethic and wealth, status, power, and authority. So wealth and worth, your job is who you are, respect and authority, high value ownership of goods, space, property, and whatever. That's more of in Europe, that doesn't really exist. So you can't say that's whiteness because if we were looking at Europe, usually they don't care about what job you do. They care about if you're a dick or not. So I can't say that that's white people. That's more of an American cultural norm, where we place those values and interests, but it's not white. It says
it's heavy value on ownership of goods, space, and property. Wait, okay.
Yeah.
So if I bust my ass to buy my fucking house.
Yeah, which is really funny because you're a homeowner and I'm not. I'm a renter, you're a homeowner. Mm-hmm. Totally different. So apparently you're more white than I am.
Yeah, because I have heavy value on ownership of my goods, everything I own, space, and my property. That means you're not going to come into my space and try to take over. You're not going to come on my property and try to take over. Respect for authority. Respect for authority is what kept me out of jail my entire freaking life. Respect for authority made most of us successful in the military.
Yep, exactly. And that's the other thing that comes with this is the future orientation. Plan for the future. Delayed gratification. Progress is best and tomorrow will be better. Time. Rigid time schedules and time viewed as commodity. Okay, that's definitely not, because if you go to places like Japan, time is a very important thing. If you are late, they will not like you ever after that. Like, I'm sorry. Like, they hold to rigid structures in hierarchies and organizations, and they don't give a shit what you think. And that is not whiteness. That is a human condition. It's also a cultural issue. It has anything to do with if you're white or not.
Oh my God, the next one, steak and potatoes. Oh my God.
Oh yeah, shit. I love that one. That was the best one. So aesthetics, based on European culture, steak and potatoes, bland is best. A woman's beauty is based on blonde, thin Barbie. Man's attractiveness is based on economic status, power, and intellect. No, that's not, like, again, this is not white. This is based off of American cultural values that have been instilled in a lot of these things. Will Smith, earlier in the segment, that's a great example. Power, status, and intellect. Like, dude, like, you can't say that is inherently a white issue. And because they're saying that white people influence black people so much that they try to be all of these things because these things are all white.
So, do you know what the most influential culture is in America? Black culture.
Yeah.
Everyone's listening to black, hip hop. Everyone is wearing the clothes. Black culture has a lot of influence in this country. whether it's positive or negative, either way, but it has a lot of influence. So this lady, dude, my eyes are hurting.
To wrap this one up, I don't want to go too much more into this because it's fucking ridiculous. Communication. Oh, actually, competition is a great one. Win at all costs. Loser and dichotomy. Fucking God, this is stupid. Majority rules when whites have power. And then King's English for communication. Written tradition. Written tradition is apparently all white because no culture in the history of man has ever written down their shit ever, because the Egyptians didn't carve into fucking stones and the Mesopotamians didn't fucking make canoe form to fucking leave stuff. I'm sure they weren't white. Oh.
And the King's English. Wait a minute. I thought when we beat them in 1776, we got away from the King's English. That's why we created the Webster's Dictionary, right?
Yeah, Americans have their own English.
Yes.
Like there's Creole and a bunch of other things. But if you sometimes if you listen to either Irish, Scottish, or English people, or Australians for that matter, you have no idea what the fuck they're saying in certain times of the day because they have their own words. So whatever.
So yeah, this lady's an idiot.
They're all fucking idiots. But this is the left has gone completely insane and off the rails when it comes to racism and white supremacy, because they're the ones that are institutionalizing this idea that white people automatically are better because of all of these cultural norms that they have. And so that's why you need to recognize your whiteness. If you adhere to schedules, you're racist. It's like, dude, no, that's just being a responsible fucking adult. I'm sorry. It's not.
Exactly.
But and it's just, if the right was doing anything like this, they would be called out for being racist. And that's exactly what we should be doing. We should be calling them out for being racist, for putting the shit up on the fucking Smithsonian. It's not a joke account. It's a real thing, and we should be wary of it. Same thing with what's happening in Portland, is just letting these people hijack what this moment in time could have been a great moment for us to come together as a nation with Floyd's death, right? Is that we all agreed police brutality was high and things were happening that shouldn't have been fucking happening. And we were all on board with it. Even Rush Limbaugh was on board saying, hey, what happened to him was fucking wrong. But what did they do? They took it and went to the fucking moon. That's what they did. And that's what we saw with fucking Chaz, right? They took over an entire 6 blocks of a state capital, no less, and ran with it and kept it under lockdown for weeks. If the right or right extremists, I should say, or militias took over 6 blocks of a place in the United States, they would be labeled as extremists, terrorists, and they would have been fucking cleared out by the military, or what they're doing in Portland right now, which is counterinsurgency operations. And that's the difference between what's happening now, is they're saying that Trump is sending stormtroopers to Portland. I know people think stormtroopers, they think Star Wars and stuff, but stormtroopers just mean shock troops, basically. If you don't know your military history, it's just taking the first surprise and effect troops to shock them. That's why they're called stormtroopers. Anyway, Michael, what do you think of the Portland issue, where they're like, oh my God, they're taking these innocent, peaceful protesters and they're putting them in vans?
Yeah, they keep calling them peaceful, but they're out here spray painting on buildings, destroying property, attacking anyone who comes in their area, beating people up still. I mean, they're not peaceful.
No, they're not. And it's funny that the government itself, right, are letting this happen. And the perfect proof of that is Nancy Pelosi's tweet, right? I'm going to bring that up. Unidentified stormtroopers. She even uses the phrase stormtroopers. Unmarked cars kidnapping protesters and causing severe injuries in response to graffiti. In response to graffiti? No, Nancy. They were attacking federal officers and were attacking the federal courthouse, trying to burn it down. That's what they were doing. So no, these are not actions of a democratic republic. Actions in Portland by the DHS undermined its mission, and Trump and his stormtroopers must be stopped.
She needs to just go away, dude. I can't stand her.
No fucking kidding, dude. It's insane how much she has just ruined everything for everybody. I don't know, man.
But people will still vote for her, man. They'll put her back in office, and they all these socialists and communists out here talk about all this change that they want, but they're going to continue to vote the same freaking pieces of shit that they want, that they've had for the last 50 years. So
apparently my camera went down, so that happened. It's
sorry,
restarting.
keep going.
That's all right. I'll just leave it on
Okay.
Michael's beautiful face.
No.
We're back over to the other side of this. So, like with Nancy's whole thing, is there's also what happened today, or it was yesterday, last night, was the Porcelain Police Union building was set on fire. And if that's not a indication of how bad things have actually gotten, then you're completely insane. The state is wanting to kick out the federal officers because they're trying to do their fucking job. They're trying to round up people that are instigating violence and causing destruction of property and trying to ease the tensions of 52 days of fucking riots. Like that's insane. I mean, Michael, from your viewpoint as a veteran, like what in counterinsurgency operations, do you think what they're doing is right? Me personally, I think it is.
Oh yeah, so they take the same oath, man. So uphold the Constitution, and against anyone, foreign and domestic. And these people are domestic terrorists. Just because you stand by their cause, what they're causing is terrorism. What they're doing is terrorism. And if you look at the definition of terrorism, they meet that. You know what I mean? So these officers have all the rights to go in there and clean them out. And they can get as mad as they want. These liberals and these socialists can get as mad as they want because this is what they want. Man, they want fucking chaos.
Oh, yeah.
They want chaos. They enjoy chaos while they sit in their $1 million mansion somewhere. I don't know why Nancy Pelosi's talking about Portland when she's in California. Why the fuck is she talking about Portland? Like, mind your business, Nancy. It ain't none of your fucking business what's going on in Portland.
Nobody cares.
You should be worried about your shithole state that everyone's leaving, but you're worried about what's going on in Portland. I said we round up all these freaking liberal congressmen and start cracking their fucking skulls in. That's what I say.
That's a bit extreme there, Michael, but yeah, I get you.
Well, yeah, I'm not talking about killing them. I'm just talking about, whipping their ass and throwing them in fucking FEMA camps and shit to where they can eat each other's poop and drink each other's piss for the rest of the
That's insane. Well,
yeah. I'm kidding.
Well.
No, I'm not kidding, but I'm kidding.
I'm kidding, but I'm not kidding. That's how you look at it?
Yeah, I'm kidding, but I'm not kidding.
It's like it's totally immersive. Anyway, well, I guess that's going to be it for us today. My camera's out, so you're just going to see me frozen for the rest of this one. But if you're on the podcast, it doesn't matter. Anyway, sorry we're taking so long to get another episode out. We love you guys. We've just been taking some time off with our families and friends and enjoying the holidays with the 4th of July and whatnot. As always, you can find us on YouTube and Facebook. Michael, why don't you go ahead and do your thing?
Yeah, just make sure you guys are following me on the TikTok, the Bro Kitchen Guy, and follow me on the Grizzle Grunt page on Facebook, the Bro Kitchen page on Facebook, and the Savage Patriots, The Awakening on Facebook. And I'll always follow the Hooch. Always. Because we're always going to put out good content. And make sure you guys check out our YouTube channel too. Coy and I have been talking about getting back into our short video little skits, whatever you want to call them. So we're going to start putting those out again. And I'm glad you guys enjoy the content. Make sure you share the content. And we love you guys.
Yeah, we love you.
And we're out. Pew, 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 pew.
According to your Facebook page, we aren't friends.